welcome to A3's video series, Safe and Secure. My name is Alexis.
And I'm Kevin.
Kevin, what goes on?
Not a whole lot. How are you doing?
I'm good. You know, with everything going on and, the aftermath of COVID and school starting back, what industry trends are you seeing right now?
Oh my gosh, with school going back during this coronavirus, I really don't know how they are doing what they are doing. These educators have gotten very creative in how they're setting up classrooms and distance learning. They've got so many things on their plate. Plus, you put in social emotional learning, the distance learning aspect, the individual educational plans or IEPs, and then the fact that you're trying to bring kids back into a building that's physically safe and secure for them. It's a tough time.
Yeah, I feel that. And I know you spoke with Michele Gay at Safe and Sound about, problems, impacts, and solutions as far as going back to school. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Michele is phenomenal. Unfortunately, she lost her daughter Joey to the Newtown school shooting, but she's been able to turn that into Safe and Sound Schools, and they are a free resource for K-12 on a wide berth of different topics. But they are really providing a lot of value on helping schools find best practices and what they should be doing when they bring these kids back to schools. So we will talk a lot about her resources and where to find more information about Safe and Sound Schools and what they're doing.
All right. Well, without further ado, here is Safe and Secure with Michele Gay from Safe and Sound.
Good morning, Michele. How the heck are you? It's been a long time.
It has been a really long time. Miss seeing your face in person.
Absolutely. It's I'm trying to figure out how do you do a virtual hug? I almost want to take I think, isn't it Scarlett that does the?
Yes, she does.
Right. I almost want to take Scarlett's thing and say, hey, there's a virtual hug, right?
Yeah. I know. It's a new normal.
Absolutely.
Everything's different.
Well, Michele, I know you and I have known each other and become friends over probably past 5-6 years, I believe now. Yeah. But obviously, everybody out there doesn't know you. So, could you tell a little bit about yourself and Safe and Sound Schools?
Absolutely. So, I'm one of the co-founders of Safe and Sound Schools. I'm also executive director. My co-founding partner Alyssa and I founded the organization after our tragedy at Sandy Hook School, where the two of us lost daughters. I lost my youngest, Josephine, who I always call Joey, so you'll hear me call her Joey, and Alyssa lost Emily. But we really do believe that they're very much with us in this mission that we're on to ensure that every school is safe and sound, and every school community has the resources that they need to prevent, better respond to, and recover from any type of school crisis. So that's the mission we're on. We gather resources, programs, best practice guidance. We host experts. We share stories, and have kind of created this national community, with you included, that really comes together, and we try to work at school safety together. We try to kind of solve for safety, as we like to say.
Michele, I love your common sense approach to school safety and being able to really capture that K-12 environment. It's definitely refreshing. But what in your background do you think, other than the tragedy that you had to go through, allows you to really relate to that K-12 environment?
I'm a teacher. I was an elementary school teacher in the Maryland and Virginia public schools before raising our family, and I always intended to come back to it. I have come back to it in a different way, for sure. But I think what we've done at Safe and Sound Schools is really just apply a lot of the principles and the culture of education, because it is schools that we want to serve. It's students, it's staff, and if and families. And if it doesn't make sense to them, what we're doing, then it's not going to take, it's not going to be meaningful. So it better be quick and dirty, it better be easy to understand and inexpensive and very practical. And I think too, as an educator, you're successful when you you look at the whole child. You look at every facet of the child to try to figure out how you can best meet them where they are and take them as far as you possibly can. And that's really how we approach school safety with our school communities too. We take a comprehensive approach. We're not just looking at, one thing, one solution, one cure-all, one program, one new hire, new position or something like that. It's really layered, it's the layered
There's
approach.
not a magic wand I can just wave to solve all these problems?
No, dang it. I know. It's like, I would give that away for free if I could find it. But if there is a magic wand, it's teamwork, it's getting everybody together, the SRO, the security director, safety director, the administrators, the parents, the students, the classroom teachers, the school psychs, and on and on. If we really want our schools to be safe and sound, then we all got to pitch in.
And so for me, former security director at two different districts, I could beat my head against the same wall every single day and not necessarily fully make the relationship with the teachers to where they understood where I was coming from. However, when you bring in your group, that is where the ahas happen. That is where the teachers in the audience go, that's what that guy was talking about. Right. That's why you
gotta speak the language. And
the reinforcement is like, hello, she's a former teacher, and she's telling you that the security guy knows what he's talking about, and y'all should start paying attention. So, for me, and I've told some of my colleagues that here's how you utilize Michelle's group. They are a great reinforcer of the great work you were trying to do. And that's where you can really see the needle start turning with your messaging, I think.
Well, that's the greatest compliment ever, honestly. Just to help people understand the why, and to make it part of their DNA and the way that they think, to make it cultural is really where it sticks, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Michele, what school safety is so big and broad, and there's so much going on in the world right now, especially. What is one of the bigger topics that you guys are working with school districts and really having some success with at Safe and Sound?
So right now, everything's about what we're calling the Safe and Sound Return to Learn. Whatever the heck that looks like in whatever the heck district you are in right now on this given day. You and I were chatting before we turned the camera on. It's so different, district to district, state to state. I think we're going to see this very sort of patchwork of different responses and approaches to this next school year. So just really trying to help our school districts and leaders and families wrap our heads around this year and think about, this is uncharted territory. So we're all guessing, we're trying to take our best guess, be as informed as possible with very little information. So that's been a big thing for us. We have a summer series called the Safe and Sound Return to Learn. So each Tuesday, I think we're about halfway through at this point, each Tuesday, we're gathering experts from our community to explore areas that we identified as key concerns for our stakeholder groups. We did focus groups that covered our parents, our students, our school-based mental health, our SROs, our security directors, administrators, and on and on and on, just to kind of identify, okay, what's keeping you up at night? So each of these webinars dives into that, whether it's social justice or social emotional concerns for the return to school, or if the return to school is virtual, some of the social emotional concerns there, even physical safety concerns. A lot of our schools really are going to open the doors in this fall. And there's a lot of physical concerns. How are we setting it up? How are we controlling access now? How are we screening for health? How are we doing threat assessment? Some of our schools are learning to do threat assessment remote. So there's just a lot that we need to think about. And we're always better when we think about it together. So I would say those are the big things. And I think there's a great demand for anything that can support those processes, anything that can help us gather together virtually, perhaps, to just keep the conversation going, keep thinking and planning together to streamline our processes, whatever they may be, whether it's emergency operations, any type of pandemic plan, planning for transportation, those types of things. There's a lot of demand for solutions that will support all of those things.
And that is a ton. And so from personal experience, I know you've got majority of those resources free on your website. Before they came out with the National School Safety Clearinghouse, you were almost it. I mean, you had some great resources on there. So we've got the resources on the website. We've got Tuesday Talks, webinar series. Do you do any other educational events out there?
We do. We sure do. And it's so we have what we call the Safe and Sound Institute, and now it's very virtual. The team used to come to you and spend the day doing consulting or workshops or keynotes or whatever the need may have been. Now it's pretty much all virtual. So believe it or not, I actually have a trip next week, but most folks are working with us virtually. So but you're right. Everything that we're doing, the whole Return to Learn series is archived on our website. Everybody can come and take part in that. There's another series and podcast that we did as well that's on there. So there's just tons to explore. I think the bottom line is that we're not in this alone, and we need to remember that. We're going to figure this out. It's going to be messy, but we'll figure it out together.
So, Michele, for those that are listening or watching, where would I go to get more information on your conference, or to book you or one of your other speakers inside of your bureau? Yeah,
it's super simple. Just head to safeandsoundschools.org. A lot of S's. Safeandsoundschools.org. You can book any one of us, whether it's consulting, speaking, virtual workshops, in person. All of that, all of the webinars, all of the resources, all there. Safeandsoundschools.org.
Oh my gosh, it's been fantastic talking to you. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. So I'll do that thing again and just throw the love at you.
I love it. Sending it right back to you.